I'm Sabrina Zainal, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Malaysia remains firm in protecting sovereignty and rights in South China Sea. And freelance designer first to be charged under new anti-stalking law. Good morning. Malaysia will remain consistent in protecting its sovereignty, rights and interests in the country's exclusive economic zone in the South China Sea. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the country's position on the matter remained firm despite elements of major power rivalry trickling into territorial disputes.
The continued militarization of the maritime region, coupled with the use of grey zone tactics to reinforce claims and stimulate the lawful exploitation of resources, is neither peaceful nor constructive. Added to this dangerous mix are reports which continue to stream in on the deteriorating maritime ecosystems and fish stocks devastated by illegal and unregulated fishing.
Datuk Seri Anwar said this in his keynote address at the 36th Asia-Pacific Roundtable in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. He added that Malaysia has always advocated for peaceful and constructive settlement of all disputes in line with international laws' recognized norms and principles, including the 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. In addition, the country must continue to ride on its good relations with both China and the United States to promote a stronger rules and norm-based order. Meanwhile, Datuk Seri Anwar stressed that the claims made by Bachok MP Muhammad Shahir Cik Sulaiman from PAS, alleging Kelantan was being treated as a stepchild by the unity government, was baseless. He pointed out this was because Kelantan was given the highest allocation compared to other states under the 2023 Madani budget.
Semua cadangan penting kerajaan negeri Kelantan saya telah terima. Tempatan banjir, air bersih, pembangunan negeri. Malah peruntukan yang diberikan oleh kerajaan perpaduan sekarang lebih banyak daripada kerajaan yang diberikan oleh PAS dan Bersatu masa mereka dalam kerajaan. Itu isu pokok.
Datuk Seri Anwar also said that young PAS leaders like Shahir should be more outspoken in providing suggestions to solve issues in Kelantan, such as the lack of clean water and flood barriers. He said this in response to Shahir's claims during a televised debate with Economy Minister Rafizi Ramli on Wednesday night. The PAS Assistant Secretary General also alleged that the main reason why Kelantan had struggled for so many decades in terms of development was that federalism had denied the state its rights, including oil royalties. The term green wave has become synonymous with Perikatan Nasional's strong showing in the last general election. As voters gear up for polls in 6 states on Saturday, the foremost question in the minds of all Malaysians is whether it will strike again. Or was it just a flash in the pan? FMT's Natasha Bust reports.
Will Perikatan Nasional's green wave sweep aside Pakatan Harapan in Penang, Selangor and Negeri Sembilan in this Saturday's state elections? As polling day draws closer, PN are favourites to retain the East Coast states of Kelantan and Terengganu, as well as Kedah, while hoping for a repeat of its fortunes in the last general election.
What made the green wave a political phenomenon in the last general election was how UMNO crumbled and swept in the rural Malay seats, which has traditionally been a stronghold. But the wave did not break beyond Malay majority seats.
The term green wave was coined to describe the political rise of PN in GE15, where PAS won 43 seats in the Dewan Rakyat, the highest number by any single party, while its partner Bersatu won 25. On the government side, DAP won 40, PKR 31 and UMNO 26. Analyst Azmi Hassan believes, despite PN's hyperbole, the green wave will not be strong enough to force a change of government in PH-controlled states.
It will have a big impact in the 3 PAS states. Mostly in Kelantan and also Terengganu. The probability that they will wipe out Barisan Nasional is quite high, and maybe in Kedah too, but not so much for Penang, Negeri Sembilan or Selangor.
Another political analyst, O.E. Sun, believes that PN can at least prevent PHBN from winning a 2/3 majority in the West Coast. The forecast is based on the changing mindset of Malay voters, including those in Selangor, Penang, and Negeri Sembilan.
The unity government has been targeting the socio-economic concerns of these voters, whereas the real battle is in their religiously awakened minds.
PAS and Bersatu have been hitting the campaign trail, brandishing their own version of political Islam to convince voters to reject Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's unity government as one which is controlled by non-Malays. Although PN leaders have provided little evidence to back such claims, the impact of such rhetoric on voters cannot be undermined. Both PHBN and PN's chances in the 6-state elections will also hinge heavily on their efforts to woo young voters, who account for almost half of the 9.7 million eligible voters in the 6 states. As previous elections showed, getting the support will not be a walk in the park.
The young voters will play a critical role, but the question is, will they come out and vote?
Natasha Bust, FMT for Nightline.
In the meantime, Tycoon Tan SRI Vincent Tan and his company, Berjaya Land Berhad, have filed a defamation suit against Datuk Seri Muhammad Sanusi Mat Noor. In their statement of claim filed on Tuesday at the Shah Alam High Court, they alleged that the caretaker Kedah Menteri Besar had made defamatory remarks about the 700 million ringgit river widening project known as the Selangor Maritime Gateway. The plaintiffs claimed that Datuk Seri Sanusi's slanderous remarks had tarnished their reputations as well as undermined public trust, not only in the plaintiffs but also in the institutions and government bodies associated with the project. Aside from seeking an unspecified amount in general and aggravated and exemplary damages, the plaintiffs also filed an application for an injunction to stop Datuk Seri Sanusi from making similar defamatory remarks in the future. The alleged defamatory remarks were made by the PAS leader during his election campaign in Kedah on August 2nd and was broadcast live to the public as well as republished on various social media channels. The plaintiffs said the lawsuit was the result of Datuk Seri Sanusi's failure to meet the requirements in a letter served to the defendant on August 4th, demanding a public apology and 200 million compensation, which he refused to comply.
This week on Money Matters, we'll talk about how much you earn or how much you spend, who actually qualifies for government's financial assistance, how to target subsidies accordingly. On Money Matters this week, Professor Tan Sri Dr. Nur Azlan Ghazali speaks about income classification this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and live HD stream on Tonton.
The 5G Rahmah package aims to provide a cheaper 5G smartphone to the B40 group, a discount of over 50% compared to the retail price. Communications and Digital Minister Fahmi Fadzil said the 5G smartphone bundle priced at 60 ringgit for 60 GB data is an affordable package for the B40 segment.
Kalau biasanya orang biasa boleh bayar RM240 untuk dapatkan peranti, tapi untuk golongan B40, 100,000 yang pertama hanya perlu membayar RM120. Jadi the value add di sini ialah peranti. Dan untuk dapatkan 60 GB pada harga RM60 postpaid, saya rasa ini satu package yang baik.
He was met during the launching of OSIM Marketing 360 program with Media Prima Berhad in Bangsar on Thursday. The minister was responding on a news report that the Rahmah package was expensive compared to existing postpaid plans. He stressed that the Rahmah concept price is a catalyst for all telecommunication provider companies to provide better and cheap packages and services. Moving on, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has expressed hope that former three-term PRI Assemblyman P. Ramasamy will continue to support the unity government, albeit quitting DAP. The Pakatan Harapan chairman added that he would also contact Ramasamy to find out the true situation following the latter's announcement on Thursday over his departure after serving the party for 18 years.
Ramasamy sahabat saya akan tentunya dapat pandangan daripada dia dan dia faham keadaan dan kisahkan kita. Mungkin ada beberapa masalah khusus dengan parti, tapi saya harap dia boleh main peranan yang positif untuk membantu kerajaan dan pendekatan madani.
Datuk Sri Anwar also said although he understood the decision behind the former second Pulau Pinang Deputy Chief Minister's resignation, he hopes Ramasamy will continue to serve the people in some capacity. The Prime Minister told this to reporters when asked whether Ramasamy's resignation would affect the outcome of the Pulau Pinang state election come August 12th. Earlier on Thursday, Ramasamy announced his exit from DAP at a media conference held at his former service centre. The outspoken politician, who was among those dropped as candidates in the state election, claimed his decision was because of his unhappiness with the party due to an emperor who was the cause of a crisis in the state DAP.
Parti mempunyai hak untuk menggugurkan saya dan 5 adun yang lain, namun alasan yang diberikan iaitu proses peremajaan ataupun rejuvenasi. Tetapi apa yang sebenarnya berlaku adalah penyingkiran politik.
He said he had sent his resignation letter to DAP Secretary General Anthony Lok and Pulau Pinang Chief Minister Chow Kon Yao. He also said he would continue to support the Pakatan Harapan coalition in general and the leadership of Datuk Sri Anwar and Chow. Meanwhile, Lok said Ramasamy's decision to quit DAP will not affect PH's election campaign in the state polls. The DAP Secretary General, when contacted, said he was not surprised by the former PRI Assemblyman's action after the latter was not chosen to defend his seat by the party.
3 penggal menjadi timbalan Ketua Menteri apabila tidak diberikan kursi maka keluar parti. Ini yang saya rasa menduga cita kan. Tapi apapun saya rasa perjuangan parti akan diteruskan. Individu datang dan pergi, pemimpin datang dan pergi. Yang penting ialah parti kekal kuat. Tidak ada mana-mana orang yang lebih besar daripada parti.
A freelance designer who allegedly harassed a female photographer over a period of 8 years has been hauled to the Shah Alam Magistrates Court in Selangor and charged under the new anti-stalking law. With the charge, 37-year-old Muhammad Safiq Rosli became the first ever person to be put on trial for stalking under the new section 507A of the Penal Code. Muhammad Safiq, however, pleaded not guilty to the charge after it was read out before Magistrate Sasha Diana Sabtu, who ordered for the accused to be sent to Hospital Bahagia Ulu Quinta in Perak for a mental evaluation, made in accordance with Section 342 of the Criminal Procedure Code. According to the charge, Muhammad Safiq is accused of repeatedly harassing 31-year-old Akasha Mardiana Daud on Twitter between July 15th and 21st, knowing that it was likely to cause fear to his victim. The accused had also allegedly stalked and sexually harassed the photographer for years, sending her lewd photographs of himself and even followed her to the United Kingdom. He was charged under Section 507A(1) of the Penal Code for stalking, and if convicted, he will be liable for up to 3 years imprisonment, a fine, or both. No bail was proposed for the accused, as he had history of evading the authorities when he was being investigated for harassment in the United Kingdom. Prior to the court proceedings, the accused was picked up by the investigating officer at the psychiatric ward at Kuala Lumpur Hospital, where he was admitted by his family in July. The court, which allowed the protection order for the victim, fixed September 7th for mention. Wildfires claim dozens of lives. News from the foreign front after this breather. According to Aceh government spokesperson Muhammad MTA, civil servants not allowed to gather in public spaces, quiet places, as well as in vehicles. Muhammad said the new order was issued as part of efforts to shape a generation that faithfully adheres to Islamic values in their daily lives, adding that the order was a preventative move by the local government after it consulted Islamic clerics. The consequences for breaching the order, however, were unclear. Aceh, located on the northern tip of Sumatra Island, is the only province in the world's most populous Muslim-majority country that imposes Islamic law. Thailand's Pheu Thai party on Thursday announced another party had joined its coalition, inching closer to forming a government and clearing the kingdom's political logjam. Pheu Thai said the Chart Thai Patana party had agreed to add its 10 seats to the now 9-party coalition, which musters 238 MPs, just 12 short of a lower house majority. The kingdom has been politically deadlocked after the reformist Move Forward Party, MFP, which won the most seats in the general election, was unable to get its leader approved as prime minister by parliament. Pheu Thai, which finished second, has taken the lead in trying to form a coalition, with MFP dropping out. The party has nominated businessman Sreta Tavasin as their candidate for prime minister, and the vote to approve him is expected in the coming weeks. Over in the U.S., at least 36 people were killed and several thousand residents fled their homes as fast-moving wildfires tore through the Hawaiian island of Maui. Now, the deaths in the city of Lahaina, the island's main tourist destination, came as strong winds from a distant hurricane fanned the flames. According to officials, the fires began burning early on Tuesday, putting homes, businesses, and utilities at risk, as well as more than 35,000 people on the island of Maui. Thousands of people have been forced to evacuate their homes, and the state of emergency has been declared. It was reported that a huge search and rescue operation is underway, with some people still unaccounted for. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has fired the military's top general and ordered the war readiness of the armed forces be stepped up. The state media on Thursday reported that General Pak Soo-il was ousted as chief of the general staff and replaced by Ri Yong-gil, who had recently served as defense minister, without elaborating on reason. Kim's moves emerged during a meeting of his party's Central Military Commission and after he visited weapons factories where he called for more missile engines, artillery, and other weapons to be built. It was understood that Kim had come to the conclusion to increase the war preparations of the People's Army in an offensive manner, with the aim of neutralizing all forms of attack by enemies should war break out. Moving on, Ecuadorian President Guillermo Lasso has declared a 2-month state of emergency on Thursday, following the assassination of the second most popular candidate in the country's presidential race. He also declared 3 days of national mourning to honor the memory of a patriot of Fernando Villavicencio Valencia. He, however, said the date of the elections scheduled for August 20th remain unalterable. It was believed that the 59-year-old Villavicencio was shot dead on Wednesday evening as he was leaving a campaign in the capital, Quito. 9 others were injured in the attack, including a candidate running for the national legislature and 2 policemen. One of the alleged attackers was shot and killed by security personnel, while 6 other suspects were later arrested in raids carried out in a neighboring town. former champion continues impressive form. Action from Toronto when we come back. Tennis, the 2023 Canadian Open. Former champion Daniil Medvedev continued his impressive record in Toronto with a straight sets victory over Italian Matteo Arnold. Competing for the first time since his run to the semi-finals at Wimbledon, Medvedev looked in control as he wrapped up a 6-2, 7-5 win inside 90 minutes. The world number 3 is chasing a record equaling 6th tour-level title of the season. Also in the next round was Andy Murray. He toiled for 2 hours and 47 minutes to see off Australian Max Purcell 7-6, 3-6, 7-5 to reach the third round. Waiting for Murray is Yannick Sinner. The 21-year-old Sinner outmaneuvered Matteo Berrettini with his destructive ball striking, gaining the decisive break of the first set in the 10th game before he raced through the second set to advance with a 6-4, 6-3 win after 1 hour and 32 minutes in Toronto. Joining them was Taylor Fritz. The American advanced to the last 16 following a 3-set win over Hugo Humbert. He secured a 7-6, 3-6, 6-3 victory after 2 hours and 29 minutes on court, and next faces Alex de Minaur for a place in the quarterfinals. Still on tennis, the 2023 WTA Montreal Open. Wimbledon champion Markéta Vondrousova of Czech Republic outplayed Denmark's Caroline Wozniacki in straight sets to reach the round of 16. Vondrousova took the first set 6-2. Wozniacki tried to turn things around in the decider, but Vondrousova held her nerves to secure a 7-5 win. She will face Coco Gauff for a place in the quarterfinals. Also in the next round was Leylah Fernandez. The home favorite advanced to her first of 16 after a 3-hour effort to oust world number 12 Beatriz Haddad Maia 7-5, 5-7, 6-3. Lamborghini driver charged with dangerous driving. Don't go away. for staying with us. A driver of a Lamborghini Huracan supercar with a Datuk title claimed trial in the Kota Tinggi Magistrates Court to driving dangerously and in an erratic manner last month. 65-year-old Lim Tian Seng was charged before Magistrate Rashida Baharom. Lim allegedly drove the car in a dangerous manner along the Senai Desaro Expressway in Johor on July 29th. The charge under the Road Transport Act 1987 carries a penalty of up to 5 years in jail and a maximum fine of 15,000 ringgit upon conviction. He also faces an additional charge of driving the supercar in an erratic manner, posing a threat to the safety and well-being of others during the incident. The charge under the Penal Code carries a penalty of up to 6 months in jail and a maximum fine of 2,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. The court allowed bail at 7,000 ringgit in one surety and set September 5th for a remention of the case for document submission. In Selangor, police have busted a scam syndicate and arrested 101 individuals, including 36 women, believed to be carrying out fraudulent investment activities at 2 premises in USJ1 Subang Jaya on Monday. State Police Chief Dato' Hussein Omar Khan said in the 12:30 p.m. raid, all those detained were locals aged between 19 and 41, comprising managers, operations staff, IT department technicians, and call center operators. The syndicate, operating under the name GCM Asia, had been active for over a year through social media platforms and websites targeting Malaysians, with victims from Selangor as well as other states. It was believed that the suspects had scammed victims out of an estimated 2 million ringgit so far by promoting its fake services to draw interested investors in various markets, promising up to 30% profit within a short time. During the operation, police also seized 94 computers, 47 telephones, 96 mobile phones, a modem, and a router. Authorities are currently tracking down the mastermind behind this syndicate. All the suspects have been remanded for 3 days beginning August 8th to assist investigations under the Penal Code for cheating and criminal conspiracy. Draws to a close. We leave you with visuals of indigenous people from all over Mexico descending to the capital to display their eye-catching folklore to mark the International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples. I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thanks for watching and stay safe.